Give me 1 second. Let me see. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Okay, got that over there. All right, so just kind of looking over the NQ. Today, y'all, man. Things happened yesterday that were not supposed to happen. So I took a trade on SOXS, yes, or on yesterday was Thursday, on Wednesday, right? Now I did a couple of stupid things, right? First thing was I didn't take profit when I had it. I was up like 250 or something. I was like, it'll keep going. Because I was expecting the news that Powell was bringing to flop, and him not to be able to answer one of those questions and all of that. That did not happen. Well, it happened for a short term, right? Bounced up for me. I was up 240, whatever. And I was like, man, this thing's gonna keep going up. So looking out here on this chart, I'll maximize this sale. So this is when all of that was going on, all of the news. And another thing, during this hold, I was holding through all of the chop. So I really didn't care about any of these long wicks or anything. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hold it and wait for it to go down. So it went up first and absolutely slammed me. I was down, down, down. And then started going down. I was like, okay, cool. And this is where the day kind of ended here around these levels of the 19600s. Now, what I was wanting, or what I was thinking was going to happen, is it was just going to hold down the 19700s for a bit and maybe do a little bit of a breakdown on the next day. So I held overnight, and this thing during was it pre-market? No, this was during the evening time. It was kind of just trading around here, cool. And then it had this pop, and I was like, uh-oh. And it came back up here, and I was like, okay, well, it's a lower high, and it should hold down. And it came back down, and this is where I was looking the night before, Thursday, and I was like, okay, well, all we need is just a break back down into this level. So I went to bed, got some good sleep, woke up, and yeah, during my sleep, this thing was trading up. And when I woke up, let me see, what was it, around 5:30. So somewhere up in here is where I woke up to on the NQ. And I was in XOXS, which is something that it goes up when the NQ goes down. And I was looking and I was like, bruh, this thing went from 19,700, the point where I was like, okay, well, it just needs to hold around here, to all the way up here to 19,993. And I was like, oh my God. So, Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab doesn't allow you to do pre-market trades until 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Well, it would be 6 a.m. Central Time, my time, but 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And so I waited until 7 o'clock hit, which was like right around here, and I sold my shares, right? And I sold my shares, and I was like, all right, I ain't gonna think about the market today. Just gonna go do some work, whatever. I'll come back and see where it is, later on. And so I'm working, I'm doing my thing during the day, and I was like, man, let me just go check in and see what's going on in the market. So I popped up my charts, and I was looking around. I was looking at my account, and I was like, why am I know I stopped, it was a red, but it wasn't big red, right? And so I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. And so what happened was I sold out here, but when I came back, I still was holding my full position. And I was like, what's going on, right? And I came back like around lunchtime. So this is 7 o'clock when I sold those shares and zeroed out. It shows zero on the account for shares held. And when I came back and checked, it was around it was right before lunchtime. I was going to head out of the office, get some lunch, and we were sitting somewhere up here, and I was still at full position size from down here. And I was like, interesting. Now, I'm like, I'm kind of with this account, I've done things with this account, and You know, just made money, take some out, put some in, whatever. But this move right here, one, it was kind of, you know, when the news came out and it didn't just dump. I should have known, hey, this is a red flag, especially when it stopped down here. But at this point, I couldn't trade it anyway with Thinkorswim. I couldn't trade out of it. And so when it got going, I had no choice but to hold it until up here. When I sold up here though, and it zeroed out, I was like, okay, cool. I'm out of the trade. Cool beans. But before lunchtime, I come back and check, and it's up here. Now, this total trade was had me down around 1400. Um, and I actually ended up just selling some on each one of these little drops. So let me see, where's 10 o'clock? So it was on this one. So I sold some down right around here, 2011. Then I sold some, and these orders were actually going through. I was getting my email confirmations and selling on each one of these drops because I knew I was like, yo, this thing is doing too much. But yeah, that loss was it was not good. It was not good. That was not good. But today we're back at it. You know, I ended up closing out the trade. I was down 1400. Ended up closing it up around on these drops. And well, actually, I was trading this. So I was trading SOX. Where's my chart? I was trading SOX, and so I was selling these pops over here. Last yesterday, right? So I was selling each one of these little. Once it did open up, selling on these pops, 23, 20 something, whatever, and I ended up closing. With a much less of a loss than I thought, um, because of the calculations that they did. Oh my goodness, the NQ is coming down, but I think it's going to go back up. The calculations that were done were looking like, I was down like 1400, but it was like a different calculation than what it actually was. And when I looked at the account, I was only down like 800. So I was like, oh, I'm cutting everything. I jumped out immediately. And so on my trader sync, this bad boy hit me in the mouth for $883.82. I lost almost $3 per share on that one. I thought I was out of the trade, and yeah, it didn't go that way. So I got melted. So this is two nice steep red days back to back, red trades back to back, I should say. And a couple things that I was noticing going through this is um one, when I go on a green streak, I get more and more lax as I go on the green streak. So I'm on a green streak, I'm hitting it, and I start holding longer, and I start looking and swinging for the fences. I'm like, man, I can get more on this, I can get more of this. But when I keep that mindset of, hey, get the lunch money, put the stop there. If it comes down, great, you got lunch money. It's just so hard to just stick to that. It's like, okay, got lunch money. And like I was on the trade on SOX right here back on, was this Wednesday? The 18th. When was 18th? Wednesday, I was up 240 right here on this trade. And I held it overnight and we got the gap down. So I was up like 240, 250 right here. Just not great. Not great not being able to take that profit. Should have just took it, or at least just stopped out. And another thing I was doing that I shouldn't have done is when it did come to my stop out point, I didn't stop out. I held pretty much the whole day Wednesday. And I usually don't do that. Usually my whole time is usually an hour. But yeah, I stayed in this trade for quite a bit of time. Just holding and hoping and waiting and just hoping. So that kind of tore me up on this week. Definitely put me red on the month for sure. But yeah, it definitely was a punch in the mouth. But turning around, I could say, I made a whole bunch of money on my dividends, but that's whatever. That's neither here nor there. I lost money on this account. This account is, I want to protect it as a trading account, But that, man, I'm so glad I looked back at it before I went to lunch. Like I looked at it and I was like, why is my account? Why is SOX still moving? Like I saw the little P&L still moving in my accounts, and I was like, is something wrong with me? What's going on? I know I sold out of this as like 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago. I know I sold out of this. Did not. But yeah, that's how the week's been going. Everything else has been going good on the week. Just that trade was trash, trash and tragic. But yeah, I gotta wheel it back in and get back to the lunch money trading because it was definitely doing well. Now, yes, I lost on that trade, but the percentage is still up. It just fell a bit on my win percentage for sure. I have 92 trades. I have 8 more trades, and it's including all of the mistakes that I've made too. So once I get to 100, I have 100 trades trading this little strategy, even with the mistakes, even when I got greedy and all of that stuff. So, just have been accumulating the notes and accumulating the data and just moving forward, to be honest, you know. But it has been quite a week for me. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? What is actually happening? But we out here. We keeping it. We're keeping it humble. We're humbling back down. We got punched in between every tooth in my mouth. Let's look over here on the NQ. That was just a little story time. To be honest, I really wasn't. When I saw it still moving, I was like, this has got to be a technical error, right? What's going on here? And I was like, no, that number is increasingly going down. Let me jump. Let me start figuring out what I need to do to this. Because I wasn't even in the trading mood. I was just looking at the market just to see how it was going throughout the day. And then I was like, whoa, I'm still in the trade. Anyway, that's story time. Um, so far, what I'm seeing today on the top 10 volume, seeing T9 up there, TNON, it's been moving, this whole week basically, up there about 29%. And then following that is XOXS. It went, and the crazy thing is, it went down. SOXS went down to 2075 yesterday. I'm so, like, I was completely out by the time it got, um, let me see. I was out pretty much around this, almost all of it around this 2215, and then it just started dumping. I probably would have been down about 2K because I got in, let me see, up here 24. Yeah, that would have been a $4 loss. So 2500 ish or more because my entry was 2420 up here. Let me calculate that real quick. Make sure I got my math right. 2420 minus 2075, and I had 325 shares, so times 325. No, 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 that can't be right. I only would have been down 1,000. I guess that makes sense because I got out with a overall underline of 800. So I guess that would have put on 400 more shares, maybe. I don't know. The math, man, the math. So I guess I would have been down further, what, 1,200 or whatnot. Maybe it calculated my the pre-market move as well as the intraday move. I don't know if the full calculation was just intraday, but I really don't usually hold overnight, so I don't have to do that kind of math. But yeah, something was going on. I do know I got a red trade on my account for sure. All right, NQ pushing on down in there. Let's go look at the NQ and see what it's got going on over here. Going back towards 20,000. It hit this point before 1985. That could be a turnaround point right there. It tested right back here. Now, let me make this a little bit smaller. Actually, I can keep that big. It doesn't matter. The other thing that I haven't been doing is completely waiting for that first 30 minutes to play out. I have been just jumping in a little bit early. Maybe after the first 15 minutes, seeing where things are going and kind of jumping in early. Usually I'm trying to wait a little bit just because that secondary candle sometimes will dump, and I've seen that I could just save money if I just am not in the way of that dump. But we'll see what happens today. I want to be patient. Want to get back to the things that were working for me, working very well. Like, I mean, very well. It's no kind of backbiting on the system. It's just me, human error, and that thing blowing stuff up, walking through with TNT and in a match. All right, so let's see. It tested this level 19,982, and it tested this level again 1985, and I want to see it kind of test down here to see if that is a turnaround point, but I don't know if it will be. I would be surprised if it's not though. I mean, this thing they got the good news on they got the the point five rate cut. They got all of this stuff. So to be honest, it's still a very bullish idea that I'm thinking of. I just want to see how it reacts down here and if it wants to do range plays from here on the 19,987, because I think the 19,700 is way out of play right now. Way out of play, especially for it to be the end of the week. Having a nice little rest period down here. 2070s was up here. So just going to give it time to play. SOXL is the one that goes up when the market goes up. It's at 34.15 right now, but it is red on the day. This one keeps on jumping up here. BNZI. BNZI. It's right around $5, up 76%. The news on it. BNZI. ZI. News on it. It announced a reverse split one day ago at $5.07. It says to regain NASDAQ compliance. And that was kind of like the news that came out on GLMD, I believe, the compliance type news. So that news is still kind of hot. I don't know if it'll be as hot as GLMD was, but you know, it's whatever there. The next one is T9 up there with 34%. Get more news come out on T9. Let's see. T9 Medical announces issuance of 3 notices of allowance for patent applications from USPTO 7 hours ago. I don't know what that is. Let's see, 3 days ago. So let's look at this one. Okay, applications for catamaran SI joint fusion system. Hmm. To correct a failed SI joint stabilization with alternative commercial. Okay. Don't see any money talks or price talks. All right. So we will see what happens today. Everything pretty much has some pretty good volume behind it. 6 million shares, everything over 2 million shares is on the top 10. We just have to see which way these things want to go. But I'm still very bullish on the SPY. I mean, and on the NQ in the market because of those rate cuts. So I don't want to get too brave to the downside. So I will be quick to cut anything that I play today, especially if it's an inverse. Inverse. Check, check. Check, check. All right. We really don't need all of that anymore. Or any of it, really. T9 ramping up a little bit. But it's got some wicks up here, but I mean, this thing has been very unpredictable. Went all the way up to well, during one of these times went up to 129. I doubt that's gonna happen again. But you know, maybe some tradable action in there. Has an ATR of $1.71. So on average over the last, but the thing is, this would throw that ATR off hugely. It went from $3 up to 129. That would definitely make a miscalculated ATR. And so the ATR is looking over the last 60 days. And yeah, this would I don't know if I could trust that ATR, to be honest. Don't know if I can trust it. All right, so today, looking at the NQ starting the day off going red, and I'm wondering, can it hold up this 20,000? 20,000 looking better and better as a bounce point at a possible buy on SOXL coming into play. So here it is. Here's the previous level here of 19,983, and then 220K is right here. So right in this little range that it was in. Want to see what kind of candles it forms around this. And it's also touched up here 2070 multiple times. Came up here one time, curled, came down, curled, came down, curled, came down, tried, came down, curled, came down, and then curled and came down. So interesting little hold right above the 20,000s. Okay, there's some kind of buying action right there. Interesting. Has the low ATR up here of the 2046 and creating a higher low with this little build out, but this candle has not closed yet. So I want to see if we can break down a little bit more towards that 20K, but we'll see on the open. Pretty sure some buyers will come in seeing it at the right above a previous point, because they could use this as their out, this 20,000, and say, hey, as long as it holds up 20,000, we'll be in for the ride up. And they can get in on SOXL for a ride up. SOXL is red on the day, but if someone is swinging this, you know, a lot of times they're buying on red days and looking for better days. It's a little bit longer term thought process, kind of like when we try to get a good position when we're buying in, we're looking for higher prices almost immediately on the same day. But they're getting in on what looks like a bad situation before it looks good. And they're holding. And if it breaks down, they just stop out. You know, right up under here. What is this? Almost $100 down on the NQ. If it was to come down here. We got about 4 minutes until the open. Things looking real nice. Sure, nobody's. Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Ooh, it's a pretty nasty little slam down there. Can we get to that level down here of the 20,000 and turn around down here? Because I'm very bullish on the SPY right now. I'm not too worried about too much of a drop, but I mean, if it drops, I'm ready to stop out if I need to. Three minutes left. Coming into the open. All right, now let's look at SOXS, which will be the thing that could give like a temporary pop in the first 15 minutes. Has a high here of 2248 and previous level up there of 2280s. So could be a quick scalp. It is green on the day. Quick scalp out of this level. So it's the one that I'm going to be watching. Lame on small caps, yeah. BNZI looking real sick. It's up 75%, but it's just going down, you know. T9, I just don't trust. Like, it's just not a lot of trust on these ones. Because we've seen them do crazy things, but we've also seen them get destroyed. All right, SOXS trying to go up, but the NQ continues to try to go up as well. NQ has a ATR up here of this ATR here. ATR of 20,050. So we'll just call it 50. 20,050. And the point of control right now is a 20,037, which is trading around right now. Bouncing around quite a bit, and there's the open. So let's see. There's the pop to the ATR. Is it going to pop down? If it pops down, this guy SOXS has not done a breakout of the ATR yet. We'll see if it can pop down. NQ pop through the ATR lows. Still red on the day, but pretty nice pop up here to the 2050s. Whoa, stay still. And now popping down. So can it hold above these levels, above this ATR low? If it can, SOXS is going to start going down. But it hasn't broken out yet, so I'm not interested in this. Getting back to the old stomping ground of waiting for things to happen and then executing based on what I'm seeing. But right now, what I'm seeing is a whole lot of red movement. Nike was up. Oh, BNZI had a short-term pop-up. Has a ATR up here of 568. ATR low of 452. T9 also hasn't done an ATR breakout. And Nike going down. SOX threw a wick up there, but NQ is absolutely pumping. It's shredding this thing. Let's look at SOXL. Look at that buy up. 33.67. Look at that buy up. Has 34.29s to break out. And I want to see, what I want to see on this one is it break down back below this ATR low here of the 2050s. And start going for a breakdown of 2032s. But look at that. Already retaking all of it. Look at that. Insanity. So very quick pop up there to a new high look. So I'll just put those two lines up there as a zone, and we'll see if they hold it. But yeah, it's got to get back down if it's gonna do something for the people today, because that would have caused SOXS to slam. Yep, it did. Caused XOXS to slam downward, and now it's not doing a breakout. So let's go back over here and look at this one. SOXL, in both of them in indecision on the day. BNZI popping up here. Is it halt? Oh no, it's not halted. It's trading. Going towards ATR breakout of 572. I also see LFLY out here, up 80%. What you got going, buddy? Okay, and falling off. So not able to do the ATR high break. BNZI though, coming up here. Very weak news on it. Up 100% now. NQ snap back down, so SOX could be coming back into play. Could be coming back into play. And now it is back under the ATR lows, but I'm giving it this first 30 minutes to make sure that nothing's crazy going to happen. It is below the ATR low though. So definitely looking, and the SPY is also, let me flip over here to the larger time frame, what I'm looking at. So this is what I'm looking at across the board. NQ big slam from that position that it came up to all the way back to the ATR lows. QQQs still looking too bullish for my liking right there. SPY though looking very indecisive, has an ATR low down here of 567, ATR high up here of 568, but it's just indecisive overall. And now the NQ is back over the ATR low. So I'm looking at all of these at the same time to determine if it's bullish or bearish in the market. And right now it's just too bullish. Look at this, coming back over the ATR low, coming over the ATR. See, too bullish, man. Too bullish. So SOXS will probably continue to get some bearish action, and XOXL also giving some bearish action. But waiting and seeing what happens. Let's jump back over to BNZI. It did break out of this 579 ATR high with 100% up in the first 15 minutes. And let's also look at LFLY. Okay, it's still going down. We're not worried about that one then. BNZI just circling at this whole dollar level of the $6. Yeah, NQ is just too bullish right now. BNZI though, what you got going? What you got going, my brother? Let's look over here at the scans real quick. BNZI. Okay. BNZI has 11. Actually, wait, there's got to be something missing here. Greater than equal to. Okay. Yeah. BNZI is just going up, up. So let's go over here. 636s, and this is the first 15 minutes. It did an ATR break. It is where the main focus is right now. T9 was not able to do an ATR break there. SOXS continuing to head downward, maybe. No, indecision. Okay. Yeah, if it starts breaking over this high right here of 20,076, I'm thinking SOX is going to be cooked for today. And that's where it looks like it's going. But right now, let's see what BNZI wants to continue doing. BNZI is a market follower, so as the market is going up, it has more incentive to continue going up as well. It has a beta score of 1.17, almost up to $7 right there. Yeah, the market is too bullish right now to be going on any inverses. Way too bullish. Nike continuing down. SOXS trash. XOXL still in indecision as well. So no real decisions being made other than BNZI, where the main disagreement is on the day. 14 million shares traded on it. Okay. Anyway, BNZI is probably going to be the one on watch. Has a pretty good ATR of 93 cents. It does have 10 million shares traded. I would love to see it come back and test this level right here of the 575s. That ATR, pretty much the ATR high right there, test that and see if it can start holding it. Maybe it'll throw a wick through it. I don't really know what it wants to do, but it does not have really great news, but it's got people. So we'll see if the people can keep it alive. Let's look at T9, still not doing much. NQ pumping on back down as well. NQ is just very indecisive right now. It's moving kind of crazy. I don't like that. I don't like the way it's doing that. All right. Yeah, so BNZI is gonna be looking like it's gonna be something to play with today. But continues to kind of pump towards that $7. As a pretty, it's kind of poppy here on this 15 minute. Okay, we'll be closing the candle in 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and jump to my morning meeting. I'll be watching BNZI and try to see what the market is trying to do. It's kind of just pumping and dumping and all over the place right now, so I'm not too sure about the NQ. But I will keep my eyes open. I'll let you guys know if I'm looking to trade anything in the Discord. I'm getting back to the lunch money, man. Got to. It's no reason I should be breaking rules like I've been doing. I've been trading drunk, trading on the spirit of greed and swinging for the fences. So trying to get off of the fences and get back to concrete, solid ground is the game plan for today and for the rest of this month. Anyway, though, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like if you enjoy the content, and we'll be back on Monday. Stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I'll let you guys know how the week's going. I definitely don't need to be holding into aftermarket because I don't even I really that whole fat finger thing and not actually selling out of my position was horrible. So but yeah, I'm back on the ball, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's go here. And the NQ continues to look, it's just faking. It's like looking like it's going to go down, but the SPY is completely bullish. So I'm lost. The SPY is looking real bullish, and the NQ is faking like it's going to go down. SPY would need to break down 567.50 to really look like it's bearish on the day. But right now it's just too bullish. BNZ, I just playing around. Okay, let me get on out of here. Appreciate you guys once again. Keep your head on the swivel. You're going to continue trading. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.